Lady Khadija dedicates all her wealth and resources for the cause of her husband's mission. The extent of this hostility reaches blatant persecution of the followers of the new religion and its prophet. Abu Talib protected the Messenger of Allah, and seeing what the Quraysh were doing to the sons of Hashim and Abdul Muttalib, he called for them to protect Allah just as he was protecting him. Then Quraysh openly decided to kill the Messenger of Allah. When this news reached Abu Talib, he gathered the sons of Hashim and Abdul Muttalib and took to the Messenger of Allah to his quarter and protected him from those who sought to kill him. Quraysh then imposed a total and complete embargo against the Prophet and his followers in all its forms: social, economic, political, etc. No citizen of Mecca is allowed to buy from or sell to them. No one is allowed to marry any one of them, or even befriend or socialize with them, not even help them. Nor should a peace settlement be accepted from them ever, nor should they be shown mercy until they hand over the Messenger of Allah to be killed. Quraysh agreed to draw up a document to this effect, and then they hung the document inside the holy Kaaba. The Prophet and many of his followers and members of the Hashim clan withdrew to Abu Talib and entered the Abu Talib quarter known as Sha'ab Abi Talib, which had become their virtual open-top prison. Their condition deteriorated as time went by. They remained in the quarter for 3 years until they were exhausted. The voices of the children could be heard from the quarter crying of hunger and thirst. They also increased the pressure on those who had entered Islam but had not entered the quarter. The trials became grave and the Muslims were severely shaken. It is reported that Ali, son of Abu Talib, used to secretly leave the quarter in disguise and fetch foodstuff to the besieged, carrying it on his back and back into the quarter. On one of the divine revelations made to him, the Messenger of Allah informed his uncle Abu Talib that Allah had sent woodworms to their document that had eaten every word except the name of Allah. Having heard this, Abu Talib said, "No, by the falling stars, you have not lied to me." Abu Talib set out with a group of the clan of Abdul Muttalib until he reached the vicinity of the Kaaba, which was full of the people of Quraysh. He said to them, "Something has occurred which may be a cause for a settlement between you and us, so bring out your document." They said, "The time has come for you to accept and retract." Abu Talib said, "I propose a matter for you in which there is fairness. My nephew has told me, and he has not lied to me, that God distances himself from this document and has erased all your treachery and enmity, and all that remains written in the document is his name. If it is as he has said, then by Allah we will never hand him over to you. If what he has said is false, then we will hand him over to you so that you may kill him or spare him as you wish." They all said, "We agree." They opened the document and found it as they had been told. Then some of those who had made the pact spoke and tore up the document. The clan of Hashim then felt safe enough to emerge from the quarter and once more mingle with the people. This was in the 10th year of the noble prophethood, around 620 CE. 6 months after the end of this trial, Abu Talib passed away. Then the Prophet's wife, Lady Khadija, also died only 3 days after Abu Talib, according to some accounts. The Messenger of Allah was very saddened and named this year the year of sorrow. The loss of Abu Talib and Lady Khadija dealt a severe blow to the Prophet at a time when he needed these two the most. With the death of Abu Talib, the trials meted out by his tribe to the Messenger of Allah grew more audacious. Quraysh encouraged the foolish ones to throw dirt on the Prophet's face and head. They used to throw filth and blood and thorns at his door. Umayyah ibn Khalaf, one of Quraysh chiefs, used to insult the Prophet until his face became red, but still the Prophet would not say anything to him in return. When a fool threw the dirt in the face of the Prophet, he entered his house with the dirt still on his head. Fatima, his daughter, began to clean the dirt from his head and crying, and the Messenger of Allah saying, "Do not cry, my daughter, for Allah will protect your father." Quraysh and their allies made the decision that Muhammad must be physically eliminated in order to finish with him and his religion once and for all. The Almighty instructs the Prophet Muhammad to leave the city of Mecca and head in the direction of the city of Yathrib. This place later became known as Madinatul Rasul, or the city of the Messenger, or Medina for short. In the year 622 CE, after some 13 years of calling the people to Islam, the Messenger of Allah finally left the city of Mecca, heading for the city of Medina. Prophet Muhammad asked Ali, son of Abu Talib, to stay behind to deal with a number of issues, and Ali volunteered to sleep in the Prophet's bed, acting as a decoy. The Messenger of Allah manages to slip through those who were surrounding his house just before they stormed it. When they stormed the house to kill him, they found Ali instead in the Prophet's bed with no sign of their target. With first daylight, the 40 brave warriors set off in pursuit of the Prophet by following his track. They used an expert guide to help them track him, and the guide led the warriors to the cave known as Thawr, some 5 miles outside Mecca, where the Prophet Muhammad was, but the pursuers did not enter the cave. It is reported that the pursuers did not enter the cave, since by the time they had arrived, through divine intervention, a spider had spun its web across the opening of the cave, and a pigeon had placed its nest near there after the Prophet had entered the cave. Having failed to capture the Prophet, Quraysh announced a reward of 100 camels for anyone capturing him or giving information leading to his capture. Prophet Muhammad left Mecca on the eve of the first day of the lunar month of Rabi'ul Awwal and arrived at the outskirts of Medina, some 400 kilometers north of the city of Mecca, on Monday, the 12th of the same month. Another task that Ali ibn Abi Talib had to do when the Prophet had left Mecca was to return any goods and valuables that people had given to the Prophet for safekeeping. Many of those who were the Prophet's opponents also used to give their valuables to the Prophet for safekeeping every time they went on a long journey and the like. This is because the Prophet was recognized for his trustworthiness even towards his enemies. They could not trust their best friends for safekeeping of their valuables, but they trusted Muhammad al-Amin, the trustworthy one. And Ali returned all the goods and valuables that were given to the Prophet for safekeeping, including those of the Prophet's opponents.